skies of a different light. Why noise that keeps me up at night? I can't help but think back to you.
I wanted to talk to you guys about what's been going on with me. I told you on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it is Kenia's Life Capsule. It's the same as my YouTube. I've been going through the worst mental health, I'm gonna call it a crisis, ever in my life. I want to preface this by saying I have not been diagnosed with anything specific. The therapist I went to, or I go to, said that on the second day that I went with him, he said that I have a mood disorder, but that he couldn't tell me exactly what. So mood disorder could be depression, it could be borderline personality, it could be bipolar. Again, I'm not a professional and I have not been officially diagnosed, but I have a feeling. And listen, when you have a feeling about something, tell your therapist, tell your psychiatrist what you think it could be, because even though we're not supposed to self-diagnose, it's good to give them clues or let them know what you are feeling, because it could help them out. Okay, and I have a feeling it's bipolar because of my mood swings, and just reading about bipolar, it seems to fit more than any of the other mood disorders that I've read up on. But again, I won't know exactly. I'm guessing at this point. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what I'm feeling, and some of it might connect to bipolar, some of it might just be whatever I'm feeling, okay? And the reason I haven't really got diagnosed yet is because I cannot find a psychiatrist that will take my insurance. It took me 5 tries to get a therapist, and now it's so far, I think this last time I just got rejected from a psychiatrist. It was the 3rd time. So it's very sucky for sure. And I do gotta say, the luxury for doctors to say, nope, we can't see you because of your insurance, or nope, we can't see you because we don't have space. And I understand the space thing a little bit, but it's definitely a privilege for them to be able to say that, because I don't have the privilege to wake up and not think about, like, am I gonna live another day? I'm gonna do a disclaimer. We will be talking about topics about depression, anxiety, panic attacks. We're gonna be talking about this. I'm gonna be calling it the end, or ending life. Apparently YouTube doesn't like that word, and then I don't get paid on YouTube, but they age restrict your video, which means a lot of people don't get to see it. If it's not a video for you at all, please do not watch. I do not mind you skipping this video. Let's start off with childhood. I'm not gonna go into super deep detail. You guys don't know, I grew up with an alcoholic father. There's a lot of things I had blocked out from my childhood that have come back to me, memories. The first year I've ever said this, but he abused my mom. Normally in the past, I never thought about it that way, because my mom always made sure we had a good image of him. And it just kind of breaks my heart, because it wasn't her job to. I asked her, I was like, one day I was like, why did you do that when you knew it wasn't true? Like, he wasn't a good person. And she said, because kids know who's there for them. Kids know the truth, and eventually kids grow up. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we thought our dad was like a good guy, whatever. She always tried to, even after the divorce, she always talked good about him to us. But my dad abused her. He humiliated her mentally, and he abused her verbally too, and he was not shy to do it in front of us. He would always come home drunk, and they would fight a lot, so I would always try to stay up or get up, because I felt like something bad would happen. So that was my childhood. Then I moved to Sonora. So I lived in Arizona, okay, and I lived in the sunniest city in the world, called Yuma, Arizona. Then I moved to Sonora, California, where I live now, and at this point I didn't have depression, but once we moved to Sonora, I developed seasonal depression. And it totally makes sense. I mean, I went from the sunniest city in the world to rain and bitter winters, for California at least. That was normal. I understood right away. Okay, this month I get very extremely sad. It is what it is. Then 2020 comes around, and the pandemic happens. I don't work for a couple months. I mean, I work, but I only make like $110 a week, you know. It was nothing compared to what I normally made. And so I got into some debt because I started to very impulsively shop. No one could stop me. I had credit cards, I had everything, and I got myself into debt. And I couldn't get myself out because I didn't have a job. And I started to get these moments of grandeur. Okay, I thought I was capable of so much more than I was, and that I could do this and I could do that, and I couldn't. I got very impulsive, and I developed a shopping addiction at that point. Decided I was gonna move out into my own apartment because I could, even though I had debt. Okay, I still decided to move out. And at this point, again, I was just having seasonal depression, and I moved out. And you guys know I moved into my tiny apartment. If you guys remember or follow me from that long ago, I moved into my tiny apartment. Well, when I was living in my tiny apartment, everything was going good. I was working, paying my rent, you know, paying my bills. It was fine. I was actually really, really happy in my tiny apartment. I loved it. It was close to downtown, close to my work. It was just perfect. Then seasonal depression time came around, and I got very depressed. But I thought it was more than normal, but I thought, oh, it's just seasonal depression. And I remember New Year's happened, and normally New Year's we go to Mexico. Me and my family go to Mexico, or we spend it together and we do like the apple cider and stuff, and it's just fun. But this year we decided to do nothing, and I was in my apartment by myself, and I got really mad about it. So I went and bought a bunch of food. I bought rice, I bought tamales, I bought this and that, and I went back to my apartment, and I was gonna have my own party, and I was doing Zumba, and it was so much fun. And then midnight came around, and I just started having a mental breakdown. I cried and cried, and I said, my family doesn't like me, my family hates me, they couldn't be here for me, why wouldn't they just invite me over? Like, I felt really down, and it was just a bunch of stuff in my head that were not true. Like, my family loved me. If I would have said, hey, let me come, they would have let me come over. I was just, I felt so lonely, and that was the first time I ever said, God, kill me, please. God, end my life, please. I don't want to be here. I'm a waste of space, I'm a waste of time, I'm worthless, I'm hopeless. Just please end my life. And I just went to sleep and fell asleep. The next day I felt better, but I was still depressed. And February came around, and I was still depressed. And normally my seasonal depression kind of goes away. Usually by February, March, I'm okay. But it was February and I was not okay. And I was like, okay, I'm just really lonely here. That's what it is. My friend lived next door to me, but this friend never invited me anywhere. They barely ever talked to me, which is a big reason we actually ended up not being friends anymore. And so I really felt lonely. So I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I moved back home. And she's like, yeah, of course. So I ended up moving back home, feeling a little bit like a failure. But at this point, I realized my mental health was not the same. It was not seasonal depression anymore, and I was going through it. So I moved back home, and I moved to the apartment in my parents' house. And I remember the summer came and went, and all I did was get up, cried, ate a bunch of food, cried, ate a bunch of food again, and went to sleep. That's all I did. And every day I felt like I wanted to, I was close to the end. I wanted to just die. Okay, I just wanted to die. That was it. And I remember praying to God many times to just take me. And I didn't feel like myself, you know. I feel like I was living somebody else's life, And now I understand. I've had moments like this now where I don't feel like this is my life. I feel like I'm being tricked, or I feel like this is not reality, it's a dream. And I've realized that there is a term for this, and it's called derealization, and I've experienced it now more. That was the first time it really happened, when I didn't feel like it was my life. It almost felt like a drama TV show. But the second time it happened, I was at Walmart, and everything was lined up so perfectly, and the store was really clean that day, and it felt like someone had done that on purpose. It felt like a set was set up, and they said, "Here comes Kenia." And just hearing that, I know sounds crazy, right? Imagine how it feels when you think that going to the store, a simple regular store, is just somebody set up because they want you to think it's reality. It's very very scary. I've never before 2020 experienced something like that. So I just knew things were not going to be the same, and I had made the right choice moving back home. I thought, oh, I need to go get therapy, but I never looked, you know, I never looked, and I didn't really try because it's very hard and it's very embarrassing to talk about these things. And so I let it continue. Just going from sad, like I want to die, to functional sad, where I didn't really want to die, but I really was not doing anything good with my life. Like, I was just getting up, eating whatever. It wasn't like overeating, but it wasn't like healthy either. And then I would go to work, and then I would come back home and go straight to bed. So that's what I call my functional sad. And then I was also going to a cycle of my happy sad, what I call my happy sad. And it's where I am like energized, I'm happy, but realistically, like, I'm very, very sad inside still. And when I'm happy, I am very impulsive. I shop a lot. I think I'm the best of the best. I get this sense of grandeur, like life is really gonna work out for me. And it can be a little dangerous, obviously. I'm happy that I can get things done, but also like I get worried because I end up doing dumb stuff. I get very impulsive. So anyway, let's jump to 2022, the end of 2022. You guys know I was vlogging for a while. Well, I ended up stopping Vlogmas. I stopped Vlogmas. Decided to stop posting on my channel for a while was because, and I didn't tell you guys that on my live stream. I don't know how many of you guys watched the live stream. It was kind of like, I don't remember anything about it. Honestly, I don't even know what I said. Sometimes I do bizarre things, which is like, there's a lot of confusion, okay? There's a lot of confusion in what I'm going through. Again, I don't know what it is exactly. I just assume it's bipolar, but a lot of confusion. I walked into 3 rooms yesterday at work before I finally remembered where I was going. I had to ask the teacher 3 different times what she told me to do because I forgot, and it's so embarrassing when it's at work because like people are like what's going on? Of course I went straight into a very bad depression again, but this time worse than ever. Trigger warning, I'm about to talk about thoughts of ending my life. So if you don't want to hear about that, I will try my best to put a timestamp here of where you can skip to. I will try my best to do so. The one reason I did end up stopping posting videos was because I'm going through all of this. And I had tried to find a therapist 5 times before my first thought of ending my life, okay? Now, these were not thoughts of like, yeah, I'm gonna do it now. okay? And look, don't look at my feet, you gotta pay for that. These were thoughts of, they're called ideation. Okay, so the word ideation, and it is considered having as thoughts. Okay, it's just that you're not making a plan and you're not like thinking about it all the time, but it's still considered that. So me saying, God, please kill me, is part of that. Okay, and these were just thoughts that came into my head. I think some people would call them intrusive thoughts, but I don't have them all the time. It was just 3 separate times, and I haven't had one in a very long time. So the first one was of me, and I knew in the thought it was me being carried out of a house in a bag used for deceased bodies. A body bag. Let's just say a body bag. I don't know if I can say that or not, but a body bag. By police. And I knew that it was because I had done something to myself. And it was very vivid, very clear in my brain. The second time, and this one gets more graphic, so please skip to the timestamp I gave you before if it's too much. Okay, the second one was, I remember seeing clearly in my thought a nail going through here. The third one was of me in a crowd of people and somebody committing mass, and that I was in the crowd of the people who were going to get hit, and that I felt peace. I was actually I was not running. I was ready for it. So those were the 3 main ones I've had, okay? The first one happened, and I knew right away that this was enough. I needed to get help. The other 2 happened after, I think. I'm pretty sure. So I finally found a therapist that would take Medi-Cal. And he's really nice. He's very understanding. He's a very good listener. And we started talking, and after 2 sessions, he let me know that I have a mood disorder, that I need to go to a psychiatrist. And he couldn't tell me exactly what I had. But I have to go to a psychiatrist to get diagnosed, and then I could try medication. And I want to say, if you're someone who's watching this video and you do not support medication at all, that's your choice. I really don't think I'm going to be fighting with people about this. It's your choice. My choice right now is to get medication because I cannot keep living like this. I just can't. I can't live like this. I hate that I can't accomplish anything because of this. I hate that. I cannot, and I'm not going to explain myself to people. I will be doing medication as soon as I can get a psychiatrist. So I've looked for a psychiatrist 3 times. 3 times been rejected. So I'm gonna just take a tiny little break now that I'm excited and happy and doing really well. And I'm gonna go on my cruise. Maybe next week I'll call. It's very hard for me to call places. Also, I've been trying to cover this up because I look like kind of weird with my chin like this. I don't know, because I don't want to wait too long until I don't want to get help again. But at the same time, it takes me a long time to call. I don't like making phone calls. So that's where we're at. It's a lot of, right now I feel great. I'm like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm winning at life. I'm doing awesome. Everything's going great. Depression, confusion, panic attacks, anxiety. This is what I'm going through. This is my life right now. And if you're gonna be watching my videos, you're gonna see some of this. I might disappear for a couple weeks or months, and it's just what it is. And honestly, I'm not here to try to make it on YouTube anymore. I given up on the idea. But if anyone can hear this story, get help. It's insane to me that I've lived all these years like this. I just can't do it anymore, and I refuse to let myself have to go through this again. And I want to say, if you have a friend who you've been friends for a while, and all of a sudden they stop talking to you, don't just assume they think they're better than you. Or don't assume, because sometimes, like, people like me we can be kind of standoffish, and we can be kind of rude, or we can come off as that. But it's just we're fighting so hard. Sometimes we do not have the patience for something else. But please do not give up on your friends. Check with your friends. Check what's going on with them. A couple of you who watch my videos that I may know in real life or may not, you guys have checked on me. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for checking on me. It just sucks to have people who you grew up with just give up on you because you self-isolated. And I know it's not their responsibility to help you out, but when you were the friend who was always checking up on everyone, when you're the friend who's always listening to everyone's problems, to have people just get offended because you all of a sudden don't talk to them without even checking how you're doing sucks, okay? Your friends do not have family, they have you. And so, and if you're going through something like this, I just want you to know you're not alone. It sucks. It sucks going through what we go through. Whether you're going through just depression, seasonal depression, anxiety, panic disorder, if you're going through bipolar, you know, PPD, all of those things, like, you're not alone. You're very loved, and there's a reason you're here. There really is. Even in my moments of doubting, you know, I've doubted a lot of things recently, from reality to should I live? I've never doubted God, and I know not everyone believes in God and people get uncomfortable with it, but I never doubted that God has a plan for me on earth. And you may not believe in God, but you may not believe in anything. And so it won't, you know, it doesn't kill us to just think a little bit and think, I was placed on this earth for a reason. Sometimes I think it's okay to feel like you belong here, not just think you belong here or don't, but feel it, you know? I don't know how to explain that. Reach out. Trust me, I am so scared to reach out. I am always so scared to tell anybody what's going on. If you can, do say something so people can understand what you're going through, and if they can't, then they can go. They can, because if they're not there through your hard times and they're only thinking of themselves, then they're not really your friend. They were just there so that they could feel better and you could make them feel better. So I'm gonna go ahead and start editing this now, rest my back, and I will see you guys this Sunday. So today is Friday, April, what's the date? It is, it's April 14th, Friday, and Aurora's birthday party, she's turning 4, is April, oh my gosh, April 16th. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'll record what's going on and you guys can see it. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this, but yeah, I'm back and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe and like and follow me on Instagram. Bye.